The good thing about this fight is if Robert Whittaker wins this fight, there's a good chance this guy becomes relevant again, right? He's kind of just been kind of under the radar, I would say. What are you thinking? Who do you got?
So I'm kind of at a coin flip stage on this one. I think I've got Robert Whittaker overall. Main reason being he's got the footwork. He's known for being fairly durable. He does also have good wrestling, which I think gets underestimated at times. What I think the issue might be is that he's undersized for the division. And I think it was a big risk for him to move up. Yes, he was very large at middleweight, but I think he's somewhat small at light heavyweight. So if Nikita Krylov can come in and really apply pressure, get the takedowns, Robert Whittaker might just find himself being outweighed in the clinch, outweighed on the ground. I don't think this is the runaway matchup for Whittaker that other people think.
Hmm. Yeah, so I gotta agree with that. So Krylov, I mean, he's a guy right now who has nothing to lose, and that's very dangerous when you're thinking about the UFC, right? Come out there, put it all on the line. I mean, who knows? He's beat guys with submissions. He's beat guys with knockouts. He's a very aggressive fighter.
I've got to disagree with you on this piece very specifically. I think Krylov has more to lose than Whittaker. We've watched this happen before. Izzy moved up. He was completely undersized. The man weighed in holding a pizza on the scale, for goodness sake. And, he absolutely lost to Jan. And what they say about Izzy after that, when he went back to middleweight, instead of saying he was, 18-1 or whatever his record was, they just repeatedly said undefeated at middleweight. They basically took his light heavyweight loss and blew it off. So I think for Whittaker, moving up in weight, hey, he moved up, he lost. He goes back down to middleweight. He still has that middleweight legacy the same way Izzy did. I think for Krylov, this is the opportunity that he's been waiting for that really moves the needle in his career. Because look, you beat a guy like Robert Whittaker, a former middleweight champion, a guy who's known for toughness, and especially if you finish him, you are on the map a lot bigger than you ever have been before. So I think
Right.
he's really the one with more to lose there.
But you know what's interesting about this fight is I think the first 7 minutes of this fight decides who gets it. I think it's that close. I still do got Whittaker, but I think that if Whittaker can establish, let's say some good movement early in the fight, and Krylov he gets Krylov to kind of slow down. Um, Whittaker controls the range of the fight with his jabs. Now, if it gets to a close combat fight, Krylov gets close enough, gets him down to the ground, gets his submission status. I mean, that's kind of what's going to happen. That first 7 minutes of that fight is going to be make or break for both fighters.
And I can agree with that for the most part. And I think that really is going to be the path to victory for Krylov is pressure, 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 pressure. Keep Whittaker on his back foot. And if you got a guy backing up, makes him a lot easier to take down too. Whittaker
Pause.
is a good wrestler, but Krylov gets him on his back, and I think that he may have problems with some of that top pressure, some of the weight difference. Krylov definitely is, I think, the bigger guy, and so getting that takedown would be huge for him, especially early in round one. Start to make Robert Whittaker carry that weight in the clinch and things like that. But you're right. If Whittaker can keep the spacing, he's got great timing, he's got great footwork, and that's really I think going to be the difference in the fight.
Yeah, so I think the biggest key to victory going in here for both fighters, Whittaker, you gotta stay off the fence. You gotta win with movement. You have to attack the body, and you have to not get in your ego and get into a brawling status. Punch for punch. Krylov, I think, to your point you said earlier, pressure immediately, mixed wrestling with striking, force the clinch. That's where he's good at, right? Um, yeah, so that's my big takeaways for who's going to win that fight.
Yeah, and I'm gonna side with you on this one. I'm definitely picking Whittaker to win just because of the experience and the level of competition he's faced. But I'm gonna give it 60% maybe confidence on that one. Still gonna be the pick, just not one that I'm willing to hang my hat on exactly.
Nice.